Hi and good afternoon and welcome to your weekly Double Done Gaming podcast, episode number 3, where we talk everything gaming on this channel from PS5 to Xbox to PC, whatever is your preference, whatever is your fancy, whatever you fancy doing. We will talk about it here when it comes to gaming. And of course, join me on this gaming podcast, of course, is my usual two sidekicks. Of course, sadly, Colin's not with us. He's busy doing what normal people do, is working. Not like the three of us who are sitting at a computer screen talking about gaming. But Colin will be back for episode 4. The first person I want to introduce, of course, is Tequila 316 of the Play Pouch. Tequila, how are you, sir, this afternoon?
I'm okay, guys. How are you doing?
Yeah, we're glad. And then below us, we've got the one and only Nick as well from the Play Pouch. How are you this afternoon, sir?
Well, that's me again. Thanks, Dermo. You've introduced me twice.
I realise I've got your man's name wrong.
It's okay. It's like New York. You name it twice.
Yeah, so I know, but anyway.
You can call me whatever you like. It's absolutely fine. Yes.
Yeah. How are you, though, Pete?
I'm grand. Absolutely good. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Look, it's been an interesting week gaming. We've got a few new releases. F1 24 came out last week. We also got an announcement of 2K taking over the FIFA franchise as well for FIFA 25. So, look, have any of you two guys played F1 24 yet?
My friend has. My other friend, he's a fanatic about it. I tried my best, but there was just so many options and dials and switches. I was just like, I just want to get in and play. So yeah, I got put off by that, but maybe my friend can sort of show me the ropes for the next title.
And Tequila, I know you're not the biggest F1 or motorsport fan in the world, but have you tried it? Have you looked at it? What have you thought of it? What you've seen?
I haven't. I'm not into racing games as much as you are, Peter. But I know about what EA do with their sports games.
Yeah.
So it doesn't shock me.
We are going to get on to that.
Yeah, it doesn't shock me at all what you've been telling me.
Yeah, look, F1 24. When I first saw it, I loved it because of the idea of bringing the icons into it, Schumacher, Senna, Nigel Mansell, James Hunt of the 70s. I was really excited by what I was seeing. But by God, have EA Sports fucked it up. Oh, Jesus Christ, have they fucked it up. I'm a pad player. They haven't had us in mind. It's all for wheel players. It's all for PC players. They seem to have forgotten about the people that cannot afford racing wheels, that cannot afford racing rigs, that use their pads. The handling, I can't describe how bad the handling is. It's like going out on an icy road in your own car and trying to drive. You're not going to happen. You're going to be all over the place. The handling is diabolical. EA have ruined the F1 game for me. Absolutely ruined.
Is this on console? Yeah.
Yeah, this is on console. Yeah.
Can you use a keyboard and mouse for it on the console?
You can. No, you can't. I don't know. I don't know. I always played F1 with a pad, so I've always been a pad player. Now I am going to go up to be a wheel player in the next couple of weeks, but they've totally ruined it, and it sort of takes us in to our first sort of topic. I want to say big up to Carl Simpson. Big up Carl. He says, well done, Dermo, with a laughing emoji. I don't know what he's laughing about, Carl. And he says, I am an F1 24 master, if last means first. Now, I have to say, we did, me, Colin, Carl, and Rebel, Kevin, who's a member of Colin's Man United channel. We played it last Tuesday night. Now, we had the giggle playing it, but the handling was, I found the handling woeful. But Carl, first time ever playing F1 games, did very well. He actually beat 3 of us.
He got last, didn't he?
He did, but we all crashed out and he won. So
well, technically, he finished ahead of you there.
Yeah, but he's also the only one to get stalled on the grid and get disqualified.
Nice.
Take your big up, Carl. Hope you're all right, sir. And thank you for joining us. So the first topic, guys, we're going to talk about is EA Sports. Have they ruined F1 and football games? And have EA ruined franchises in general? I'll start with you, Pete. I mean, I go back to the PS2 days of the James Bond franchise when they had Nightfire and they had they did the attempt of GoldenEye, that dreadful disaster of a game. Then they remade From Russia with Love, which I did enjoy actually. And then they did the one with Pierce Brosnan when it was the third player. I mean, EA, do they ruin franchises? Or am I being harsh?
I think they didn't used to. There was a certain point when I don't know whether it was Larry Probst that took over in '91 or whether it was beyond that with John Riccitello. But at some point, I think they did because they assumed that. Apparently my mic is really distorted, so I'll just finish up quick and try and fix it. I did. I think they had an internal agenda when it came to what they wanted to deliver, and they stopped listening to what the fans wanted. And I think that's a huge disconnect. I think that's the absolute worst thing that you can do when it comes to developing games, and especially serial games. You have to sort of listen.
You do, and I agree with you. And Tequila, look, I'm a massive James Bond fan. I love playing the games of James Bond, going back to the early N64 of GoldenEye, which I still think is the best James Bond game.
I think a lot of people do,
ever made. But EA, they come out with crap like 007 Legends, and they tried to remake GoldenEye. And for me, they just kept messing up after messing up after messing up. And then they got into the FIFA games, which for a while they were making good FIFA games. And again, they become sort of didn't enjoy playing them. Now they've gone out on their own, and EA 24 is absolutely woeful. So have EA, what do you want from EA Sports to do better, which they haven't been doing?
Well, the thing is, Dermo, is that this is nothing new for EA.
No.
If you, I think a couple of years back they were in the top 5, maybe even number 1 as the most hated companies in America. Not game companies. So they've got a horrible reputation because they've been butchering, for example, American football Madden games.
Oh yeah.
They've been butchering them for 20 years. So before they got FIFA, before they got the F1, they were butchering sports games already. So they've got a horrible reputation, especially with sports franchises, to pretty much ruin them all. And obviously FIFA, their golden goose is FIFA nowadays because of the Ultimate Team. Now I've never used that, but I know a lot of people who do. And they make so much money off of that they're never going to stop ever doing that. Even if the name of their game is changed and it's not called FIFA anymore, the Ultimate Team and everything is still there. So these guys are a horrible company. Mostly they eat up smaller companies. They're cannibals. They cannibalize smaller companies. Normally get them to do things their way, which more often than not is a backward step for what the company used to do. One of my used to be favorite developers called BioWare, who made the great Mass Effect games and some early Star Wars games, role-playing games as well, have more or less been completely ruined by EA. And their last 2 games were, especially their last one, which was Anthem, which you may have heard of, Dermo. Anthem.
I'm trying just to go away from Anthem. You're giving me nightmares already.
Yeah.
You've reminded him.
Yeah.
Look, you're giving
sorry,
me.
sorry.
Look, I'm getting it already. Thank you.
Yeah, I sorry for bringing it back into everybody's minds, but yeah, so that's just an example of EA destroying a company that I loved, and they're still doing it. So I can't stand EA. I can't think of any franchise they've probably enhanced. I don't think so. I can't think of any off the top of my head.
I mean, Pete, you look at Codemasters. They have made good games. Codemaster was a very respectable, you knew you're going to get a good game out of Codemasters. No matter, they've done a lot of the Toka games back in the day. I remember playing Toka.
Yeah, I remember playing that with my dad as well. Yeah.
And I used to love Toka.
What game, Toka?
Yeah.
Touring car.
touring
So,
cars.
Oh,
yeah.
And then suddenly, so what do you want? If EA were watching this, right, and you could say to EA, I want you to do this one thing. What would that one thing be?
Difficult to say.
Mm.
Go on, Nick.
I was about to say, if they could do one thing, they could fuck off, sell the company. That would be my first.
It's Dissolve. Yeah, that's a good shout.
That would be my first choice. Yeah, go on.
I just think that the problem is their reputation, right? They've just, over the past 5, 10, whatever years, they've just assumed they knew what the people wanted, or I don't know what has happened up there, but like it's the suits at the top which have just sort of dictated everything and made everything so arcadey and simple, and they haven't made the code better. They haven't optimized anything apart from sort of add bullshit features, and so for me, I would probably just want improved code, better developers, and just a better game. Nothing specific, I don't think. Just sort of a game that actually works and isn't bugged.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing that EA Sports do make bug games, and it's the case that, like the F1 game, we know there's going to be a major update to it. But people are paying good money for these games, 70, 80, 90, 100 euro.
They don't care. You're buying them more often than not, and this is not just EA, to be honest. It is actually most companies. Nowadays, you're not buying a finished game. You have to wait a couple of months. Let's say you have 5 or 6 patches down the line, then you get the finished game. That's the way it is. It shouldn't be, but that they get away with it, and there's no kind of there's no law that stops it at the moment. Maybe law will catch up eventually, but.
Eventually, but let's see what Carl's got to say, guys, in the chat. His playing with mates was great fun, but they have made the game so clunky to have. They really have. They also say, Carl Simpson, the National Hockey League game is ruined by EA. Just pointless updates with no changing in the game, ripping everyone off. Yeah. He's saying Micro Machines was great with Codemasters. Yeah, it was.
I remember that.
I remember playing that. And then Carl Simpson says, if I could tell EA one thing, is don't rush games out, really. Bring something different. Now, look, I'm a massive Transformer fan with the games, and some of the early games were, let's put it this way, were not great. They were pretty shit. But when it comes to like War of Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron, they're the 2 best games ever made, going with Activision. So is that another company that is going down the EA route? Do you think that they're thinking more of profit than what's going out, what they're putting out for us to buy? Pete, I'll let you start on that one.
Sorry, dude, repeat the question.
Activision, right? Very good. They made 2 great Transformer games, Fall of Cybertron, War of Cybertron, which I still play to this day, which I still love. But the games after that weren't great. So are companies like Activision and EA, I know that these big publishers, is it all about money to them?
Yeah, of course.
Not about us gamers. It's about how much money they can make.
Yes, it is. Yeah, absolutely, and that's plain to see. To stay relevant in the games industry, you have to keep your finger on the pulse of the market. What other companies are bringing out, the depth of their game. I'm looking at you, Witcher, and they need to sort of emulate that. They need to copy all that. I mean, like if they just continue dictating what they think people want, as in a sort of a jump in, play and jump out, rather than a sort of an involved thing, which is what I believe people want, then you're just going to lose your reputation more and more.
I agree with you on that. I mean, you look at games that have come out in the past. You look at Halo, how that's still successful to this day. But I don't think the last I've never played a lot of Halo, so what I've heard, the last Halo wasn't great. The Witcher games, which I love. Witcher 3 for me is the best game that's ever been made, and I play it again and again. And it was actually watching the TV series that's got me in the back playing Witcher again, to be fair. because it was in my sort of, I bought it and it's been sitting there. And I thought, do you know what? I might download that again. Tequila, look, you look at these all different franchises over the years.
Yeah.
Which of the franchises do you think has stayed the course of time? I mean, you look at the Transformer franchise, that's gone up and down. We're still waiting for Reactivate to come out, whenever that will come out. God only knows. Splash Damage are keeping very quiet on that. When that will come out, we may get something with the PlayStation or Xbox summer things that are coming out in the next week or so. You look at the James Bond franchise, IOI, the people that made Hitman are now making a new James Bond game as well. Waiting for that to come out, I think 2025.
Yeah, can't wait for that.
I can't wait for that either. So for me, which of the franchises do you think is, do you know what? They've done a good job. Would you put Hitman in? Would you put The Witcher in there? Which franchise?
It's really difficult because I'm going over all the franchises, which I'm thinking maybe over the last 20 years, and most of them have either fallen on a hard time. Sometimes it's not even their fault. Sometimes they've just been bought out by one of these giant companies, and they've just been forced to change what they do. Like Final Fantasy is one of my favorites, but I can't sit here in good faith and tell you that the last 20 years has had great Final Fantasy games, because it hasn't. It hasn't at all. The last great Final Fantasy game for me was Final Fantasy X. Then
please tell me what's good about Final Fantasy. I can never get it. What's good
women.
About Final What's good
Probably
about
the women.
Okay, well, I'm getting it.
Timing when they released Final Fantasy VII. The timing of that was perfect because it introduced a whole new generation to stories and video games. Because up to that point, you got to remember there just wasn't many. It was all about getting the high score, Dermo. So it was one of the first games that came out really that had a proper story that invested you. But as I said, it's the last 10, 20 years of Final Fantasy games have been terrible up until Remake, which was pretty good. So even that hasn't really lasted the test of time. Honestly, I think that most of them has fallen short. Eventually, they kind of become what's the saying that people say, like, if you're a hero, you live long enough to become the villain. Is that the kind of saying?
God, that's so Batman. That is so Batman saying that.
And the Witcher games, unfortunately, they're actually not old enough yet, I'd say, because there's only really been 3 of them. If there would have been like 6 or 7 different Witcher games, you'd have a bit more of a sample size. But because it's only been 3, it's kind of like it's not enough games, really, I think, to say that it's dropped off. Mass Effect, there's been 4 Mass Effect games. 3 out of the 4 have been good. The last one was regarded terribly, and people generally you're always as good as your last game, or like they say in football, you're only as good as your last match. You're only as good as your last game. You're only as good as your last film. So many franchises have been damaged. It's really difficult, Dom. I actually can't answer it. I can't think of one. That's the truth.
I mean, you look at the Hitman franchise. For me, it's probably one of the best franchises ever made, Pete. I love Hitman games. I loved how they did the new one as well, the new Hitman game. I'm so looking forward to the James Bond game coming out, being made by them, because I think we're going to finally get a proper James Bond game, which we've been looking for since GoldenEye on the N64.
Well, they're good at stealth, aren't they? So if they make the James Bond game about stealth, then they'll be right at home, won't they?
Now, you've got Carl Simpson, Pete, saying the new Indiana Jones games look good. Now, I've seen the trailer for that. That does look good. Is there any new games, Pete, that are coming out this year that you're looking forward to? That you think,
this year?
You know what? I can't wait. That this year or next year?
Yeah, I was going to say probably not for this year. I don't know, to be honest. I mean, it's obviously GTA 6. I mean, everyone's going to buy GTA 6. But I don't know. I can't. I'm like you, Nick. I can't really think of anything fresh that's coming out. I mean, obviously we've got The Witcher 4 coming at some point. And I heard recently that they're not going to bring out the remake for Witcher 1 until Witcher 4 comes out, because they're going to use the Witcher 4's tech in Unreal Engine for Witcher 1. Yeah, so which I'm happy about because, as you know, I'm in serious love with Unreal Engine 5. I think it's just a marvel of technology, and yeah, so I'm really looking forward to Witcher 4. But beyond that and GTA, I honestly just
Monster Hunter. Come on.
yeah, Monster Hunter. That's kind of exciting, but not as exciting as GTA 6 or Witcher.
I don't get GTA 6. I really don't. I've never really played any of the GTA games. Never really liked them. Never really. It's not a game I could get involved in.
Did you never play the old ones?
No.
Before
Never
they became
have.
3D? Okay.
Not very. I'm very simple when it comes to my gaming. It's either Transformer gaming or the F1 or the FIFA or the Witcher or Hitman. I remember playing the original Hitman, which games I love. I love the original Hitman. And they were the first one to bring 3D out, weren't they, into 3D gaming, really? With the...
I think they were one of the pioneers, for sure.
They were. Yeah.
I was just going to say my favourite one was Blood... I've forgotten it now. Hitman Blood Money.
Yeah. Do you know what? Is that the one where he's got to rescue the girl or look after the girl? He's handled as potentially gets shot at the beginning. We're not going to give her any spoilers to the game, but
no, it's the one where he's dead at the end, and he rises up at the end and kills everyone who's come to the funeral. Yeah,
the one before. Yeah, that is.
Yeah, that's my favourite one.
Yeah, it is great. Look. Well, Xbox up here, this is sort of Carl Simpson says a lot. Hitman does exactly what it says on the tin. It does. You are an assassin. You have to go away and kill people, and that's what I want James Bond games to be. I don't want it to be a copy and paste of Hitman, but I want it to be true to what James Bond films, what it's about. A lot of the games that EA brought out were very much trying to tie in with the game, with the films, but like Tomorrow Never Dies on the PS2, that was brutal.
Mm.
And they've always been trying for me to chase the tail of the N64 GoldenEye, which you can play on the Xbox Game Pass, by the way.
Yeah, I've seen it.
But for me, they've always trying to chase the tail. And for me, if IRC get it right, with like they have designed Hitman and used them mechanics as well with the Unreal Engine, I think we're going to have probably one of the biggest games of the year when that comes out, in my opinion.
Hopefully. One of the things that I didn't like about these modern day Hitmans is how they sort of changed things a little bit with multiple starting points. I think that was what really kind of annoyed me. I did just want one starting point, and sort of going off and doing varying things. I don't like the idea of multiple starting points with Hitman, but I mean that's just a personal preference, really. But if the James Bond game is anything like Hitman, then yeah, okay, it's going to be fine. But I think they're going to probably want to get away from that, to be honest.
Yeah, I never really played that many James Bond games. So, but when it comes to games in general, movie license games, the track record is terrible, mostly anyway. Especially back then, because they obviously had to release the game at the same time the film came up, so they rushed it all to get it done. So whatever, as long as it was basically functioning, as long as it came out at the same time the film came out in the cinema, that's all that mattered.
Yeah,
it's not as bad nowadays, I suppose. If you think about, there doesn't seem to be as many full stop games that come out at the same time as the films, just to coincide with it. But
no, I think they gave up on that tactic, didn't they? But
people saw through it. They realised that the games were all going to be shovelware. So no, and they probably didn't sell well, other than maybe uneducated, like mothers or something like that who are buying something for their kid. Oh look, it's a James Bond game, without knowing it's top shit.
Yeah, for Christmas. Yeah, cheers, man.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that.
Sorry, go on.
No, sorry. Look, I want to talk about a little bit about PS5 or Xbox, which is the best, because we've got the new PS5 coming out. I think there's a new PS5 Pro coming out, isn't there, or has come out. Xbox are looking to make a new console as well. You could probably have the PS6 and the Xbox, whatever they're going to call it. I don't know why they didn't do Xbox 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Xbox Y, it'll be. That's what it'll be.
Yeah, I mean, the Big Bang Theory got it spot on when Sheldon says you got PS 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But Xbox did Xbox, and then Xbox One. Could it not done it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? So, look, Pete, for you, which is the best console for you at the moment? Who do you think's winning the console wars?
Well, PS5 is really, isn't it? They're winning. I think Xbox is floundering. They're panicking. They haven't hit their Game Pass target, and me and Nick spoke about this in a previous cast.
Yeah.
They're not sure, and we're not sure whether they're going to be bringing out a next gen console after this generation. Yeah. Just because I think that they're really worried. And we came up with some solutions for the Game Pass. Stop removing games. I know there's a license issue, but you have to stop removing games off the list. They have to expand. It has to get bigger. You have to offer something else. Like they're not going to do this, but like a £5 credit voucher every month, or a free movie. You can pick a movie to watch. Expand it a little bit.
A loyalty scheme.
Yeah.
For how long you've been with Game Pass.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
You're a spot. Look, going on the topic you're saying about games being taken off and games because of licenses. Xbox, Microsoft bought Activision, bought Blizzard, bought a lot of publishing gaming companies, and we're still waiting for Xbox to put Activision games onto Game Pass. Now they bought them. What is it? Nearly 2 years ago now since they first
something like that.
So look, as I said, I'm a massive Transformer fan. I want the original Transformer games on Xbox Game Pass. For me, you've got other people that are waiting for all the Call of Duty games, which is very easy. Just put them on there now because they've got all the IP addresses. So why can they not put it out? And with Call of Duty 6 coming out, Pete, and then I go to you, Tequila. Do you think they're waiting on that franchise? Do you think they're waiting for Call of Duty 6 and then they're going to stick the whole lot on? And why don't you think they haven't put the likes of the Transformer games and other games within the Activision and Blizzard family? I mean, Hasbro wants it on there. Hasbro say, look, we want you to do this. And why is Microsoft waiting? What's their problem?
It could be any number of things. I mean, they've got a team that do all the porting and the optimization for the consoles and stuff. So that could be a thing, that there's like a backlog of titles, or it could be the deal that Microsoft is offering the developers with, every time someone downloads a game, you get X amount of money, or maybe that's really stingy. We know that they're out of money at the moment because they've spunked all their money on buying Bethesda and Blizzard and shit, right? So it's like
Well done.
Well, it's true. They have to claw some money back somewhere. So I don't know. There could be any number of reasons. It doesn't really make sense if you've got some titles which are prime for the Xbox Game Pass. Just get them out. What are you waiting for? Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. And Tequila, you look at them games. I mean, the Transformer games had a great multiplayer.
Definitely. I remember that. Yeah, it was good.
Multiplayer. You look at the other games as well, the Call of Duty games. I'm not a big Call of Duty fan, but there is a massive fan base out there for Call of Duty. You look at the Forza games as well. To bring back some of the original Forza games. I mean, which I love Forza anyway. So where are you on this? I mean,
I think that there's a good chance they will spunk all the Call of Duty games when the next one comes out. But I honestly think, as Pete was saying regarding James leaving, I honestly think that they want to make sure that they've got 100 titles, give or take, at all times.
Yeah.
So I think there's a point of them probably is they very well could have Transformers lined up. They very well could have other games lined up. But rather than putting them all at the same time, they're drip feeding it over the years. So the 3 or 4 games, will be leaving next month, and then 3 or 4 will become them, and then they rotate it over the month. So in a way, they don't want to kind of, like I say, use their load
Saturate the
too
market,
use their load too
saturate Game
fast. Yeah,
Pass.
so they've probably got 20 or 30 games, which they probably can put on right now, but they're not going to, because they're going to spread that out over the next year. Have 3 or 4 games, not including their first party ones. That's why the Call of Duty ones might be different, because one of their big selling points that they've kind of committed to players was all the first party titles come on there, and that's why they've kind of caved, and in a difficult decision they decided to put the next Call of Duty on Game Pass, where there was a lot of, they probably only just about decided that because they realized they're giving up a lot of sales to put that on Game Pass, and they know that.
You flip that on its head and you look at PS Plus, totally different to Game Pass, totally different how they run PS Plus to Game Pass. Pete, do you think PlayStation have got it right? They've got it spot on how they do PS Plus and how they run it and how they do it. I mean, look, you look at here. These are some of the prices. Now, this is for Xbox Game Passes. Now, some of these prices might not be correct. These is what I could only find in usual. I'm probably a bit out, but these are all in dollars. So you got Game Core $9.99, $10.99, $16.99 for Ultimate, which gets you quite a bit, doesn't it, guys? It gets you EA Sports and other bits and pieces as well. But Pete, on Game Pass, you've got soft, and you've got to pay for GTA separately.
Yeah.
So that's a whole, you're looking at more money there. Then, but if you look at PS Plus, I mean, this is all the places, Game Passes around the world, how much it costs. Now, PS Plus, you get Essentials, Extra, Premium. Around the same price. But, do you want to talk through these PS Plus different things? So you got Essential here. I mean, first off, Pete, it's a better option, isn't it? It's a better sort of, you get more buck for your money, don't you?
It seems like it. I really don't know enough about the PS Plus economy to sort of comment on that, but it seems from the look of this graphic here, it seems like that they've got some good stuff going on. I mean, I know that Xbox has discounts and stuff. I don't know about these free monthly games though for Xbox. Did they stop them, or are they still doing them?
No, they stopped them. They stopped them a year ago or something like that. Which for me, it's not. That wasn't a good idea. That was just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, that was a bit dumb. I mean, I check the Epic Games Store for my free games now, but yeah. I definitely think Sony have got things a bit more nailed down. I don't know in specific what that might be, but they've obviously copied quite a lot from Microsoft's economy, haven't they? I mean, there wasn't any achievement system on PlayStation until Microsoft did it with theirs, and etc. So I don't know. If I was coming in to buy a console, I would definitely probably, after some research, buy a PlayStation. As much as I hate to admit it, because PlayStation for me is like Apple to me. It's like it's a complete alien system.
Yeah,
so.
No, I've got to jump in here. What Pete really means, and the point, this thing is not saying, he really wants to get a PlayStation because of all the JRPGs that are coming out.
Oh my God! No,
PlayStation.
Kill me.
I also say I've got I did have PS5 and I had Gran Turismo 7 on it. And boy, do I love Gran Turismo 7. It's a great game. I just love playing it. Look, for me, PlayStation I think is better value as well, price wise, for buying a console. I mean, you can get a console now for around €360, something like that, euro. You can get an Xbox now, Series X, for 400 and something euros. So PlayStation, I think, is cheaper. I think PlayStation is better value for money for me.
Can I just jump in and because I guess I'm going to be the spoiler, because I think Xbox is the better deal for everything. I think Xbox does everything better other than their games library. And unfortunately for us, we're gamers. So what do we want to play? Our games. So PlayStation's got all the best exclusives. It's not even close, and it's not even close. It's not even a competition. Sony have got so many better games exclusively to them that it's a non-factor. But as far as the Game Pass, I think Microsoft is a better deal. I certainly think they've got the better controller, but that obviously is a bit more objective. The controller, I think their online framework is a lot better.
And if we're talking about the internals of the consoles, okay, the Xbox is a lot more refined than the PlayStation. And from what I've understood, the PlayStation's internals were just kind of thrown together, and fingers crossed it doesn't burn up. You know, but with the Xbox, it was very well designed, and this is the tragedy of it, really, because there's a lot more money went into the production of the Series X as opposed to the PlayStation. PlayStation looks like a gigantic router. I can't stand it. I like my simple forms, and Xbox Series X is just perfect. It's just like this black monolith.
It's a fridge, bruv. It's a fridge.
It's quieter as well.
It's definitely quiet. Yeah,
it is. That worries me when I play a console, when I hear the fan go, and I think, oh, Jesus, here we go. But
you should have seen the PlayStation 3 demo. Did you have a PlayStation 3?
You want to try the Xbox 360? I played it the other day. It was like I was in the middle of Dublin Airport. I thought a plane was about to take off. No, I also had an Xbox One S, and Jesus, the fan on that. I mean, it's horrendous. So look, why you look at the Switch as well. If you look at the Nintendo Switch, they've got a new console coming out this year, Switch 2, and their library sort of games as well. I mean, Carl Simpson says it here. He says also on Xbox, there are more games suited for my kids, which is true. Where PlayStation is more suited to us, the gamers. I mean, I love the Batman franchise as well. Just don't mention Gotham Knights, which I think is a heap of shite.
It is.
And this new Batman game, VR game coming out, please just don't buy it because it looks crap.
They want £460 for the VR. The VR set costs more than the PlayStation console.
Yeah. Look, for me, you look at what I like about PlayStation is I can play Arkham Origins on PlayStation without a problem. You can stream it on the cloud.
Right.
But you can't get it on Xbox. I mean, it's the most ridiculous, and it is a good game. Arkham Origins is really a good game. But I think, like, they were selling the Arkham series on Xbox. All they were selling was Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight. Where's Arkham Origins? It should come as one package. So, look, I mean, I don't know how you are on the Batman franchise, Pete, what you think of them, but do you think it's about time that PlayStation and Microsoft should actually do a bundle from Origins to Night, so everyone's got the complete story from start to finish, instead of starting at Arkham Asylum, which is halfway through his lifespan as Batman, that you're missing out why he became Batman, his early years.
Yeah, I don't see why they shouldn't. I don't see why they haven't. I personally want to see a sort of a game version of Kingdom Come, which is one of my favorite Batman comics of all time. Or either that or a movie version. I don't know. I'm sitting there waiting patiently for it. I definitely want to see the DC universe when they're old, like an old Wonder Woman and all that kind of thing, because I just think it's fascinating. And I want to see a Superman game as well. There hasn't been a Superman game. I'm like Angry Joe. He's just been desperate for one. And
was there one on the PS3 or the original Xbox?
There was a crap one, I think.
Long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. I think it was on one of the handhelds or something. But it was just really dire. So I don't see why they haven't brought out the series. I don't get it. It could be any number of reasons.
It is. I mean, TEQUILA is one of my biggest hates, right? They got a series there. You got Origins there on its own on PlayStation. But when you play Arkham Asylum, it's 5 years into him being Batman. So you're missing
Yeah,
the first 5 years.
there's a market obviously for some parts of his life obviously that they haven't covered.
And it's a game that hasn't been remastered yet. There's been talk about them remastering Origins. So
unfortunately, the Batman license is in a little bit of limbo, as you know, because the makers were Rocksteady, and they're the ones who made the three Arkham games.
And then Peter's making Gotham Knights. I don't know what was.
I don't know what they were doing, and then they've gone ahead and made the. Technically, it is a Batman game, but because Batman's in it as a bad guy, this killed the Justice League, which was their latest catastrophe, which Batman technically is in it. It actually ends up being the voice actor who plays him died.
Kevin,
that was his last role.
Yeah,
it's a terrible game, but technically that's a Batman game because he's in it, like I say, as a villain. So they've made him it's like an Elsewhere story where he's like the villain, and that's the last thing that voice actor ever got to do. So that kind of sucks.
Let's not forget, right, that it's the suits at the top that are dictating what type of game they want. This is why we had Gotham Knights. This is why we had Kill the Justice League or whatever. It's for some fucking reason, everyone is trying to push this equality thing, forced equality, where it doesn't need to be there, because once you try to stifle like original creativity from someone like a writer, it's kind of over, and I'm waiting for that resurgence, or waiting for us to go back to, all right, we'll just let you do whatever you want. But at the moment,
Marvel Avengers, another game. I mean, look, I might be the only one that actually enjoys Marvel Avengers, because I like the way I can have the different Iron Man suits and all the comics from the Marvel comics. You can dress them up, and maybe I enjoy all that. But could I have not made a proper, like a Thanos-style Marvel Avengers game, instead of doing what? For me, that would have been more interesting than what they did make.
I think it just it all just comes back to the fact that they believe they knew what the public wanted, and they didn't actually sit down and listen to us. They always think they know better.
Yeah, is this it, Pete and Tequila? Is this it that we need to start? I mean, these podcasts is our way of getting out with something we love doing. But is this our opportunity on these podcasts to get out what we want, to make these people listen, to make these suits listen to what we want as gamers, instead of what they want, but what we want, because we want something totally different to what they
There has been, not often, but there has been, I can think of a couple where there has been enough blast back from the player base / fan base where the devs have had to change. The biggest thing in my head is Star Wars Battlefront 2. That's still the big one that is in my head, where the backlash was so big. I think it ended up being the most negatively voted comment on Reddit or something, I think, and I still think it's got that record. And Star Wars fans are quite a passionate bunch. I know Star Wars is each their own. I liked it as a kid, less so as an adult, but its player base are very, very passionate. So they put up such a force, such a blowback, that they had to literally change the whole game. So it is possible to do, because it's been done, but you need a lot of people. And because Star Wars was such a powerful, brand, there was enough fans there to make a difference. On a lot of games, the player base, I just don't think that the numbers are quite there on a lot of these titles. But there's exceptions. It can be done, but
it can.
And the devs will technically be forced into change if there's enough blowback. The blowback, to be honest, normally is about money. It normally is about being overcharged for loot boxes, microtransactions. That's where the blowback kind of is the strongest, I feel, if that makes sense.
Just one question before we move on to our last topic. I need some advice, guys. I'm looking to get a wheel. Get my first wheel. I'm going to link it up off my Xbox, or I might link it off my PC. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I'm looking to get a wheel and a rig. Now, I've been looking around YouTube. I've been looking on internet, and it's like I'm getting confused. What's best for value? What's not best for value? So, can you guys, Pete, in the comment, or Pete or Tequila, if you have a view, What's the best one that I can get, and what's best for the money? That it will last me for a while, but it gets me on that ladder. So let me know in the comments. Pete, have you any theories? Any ideas?
I remember looking for one. It was a while ago, admittedly, but I've always found that spending around the sort of, I don't know, 200 to 300 mark, and you're guaranteed to get a decent one. I think the problem is you have to go for something that's metal based, not plastic, because that's just going to break apart. And so you want something that's durable. Doesn't Ferrari make them?
They do. I mean, I've been looking on Fanatec and Thruxmaster, so that's sort of where I'm looking at the moment.
Yeah.
It's the only way. But look, let me know what you guys think. Put a comment. Please hit the like button. We've had a few people. We've had a good comments in the chat today, and the people putting their thoughts has been very enjoyable. Last topic before we end off is 2K have now got the rights for FIFA games. FIFA 25 will be made by 2K, who make the wrestling games and other franchise games, which
basketball,
and the paywall. Pete, what's your thought on the paywall, and what's your thought on 2K taking over the FIFA franchise? Is it a disaster waiting to happen?
Have 2K brought out a FIFA game yet, or is this their first venture?
This is their first venture.
Yeah, they haven't done it yet.
All right. Well, the fact that it's not EA anymore, I think, is fantastic. I'm not into football. I'm just going to say it right now. My brother is. I'm not. So he's probably the better person to ask. But I wish them all the best. I hope they don't mess it up. And this paywall thing. What is this paywall? You have to spend more to get more players or something, right? I'm assuming.
It's all games that now is going behind the paywall. Formula One's the same. All these sports are going behind a paywall. So, look, I think the paywall thing is a podcast on its own, I think. So I think we might leave that there. 2K Tequila, are you happy? Not happy?
No, 2K, they do the WWE games, which I don't really buy anymore, but I know of them. 2K have destroyed the 2K basketball games, have been train wrecks. I heard so many bad things about that. Putting ads in their games as well. They did that there, and then putting loads of things behind paywalls, such as cosmetics and stuff like that. So no, I don't think it's going to be any better than what we had. It'll be different. I don't know if they're going to do an Ultimate Team kind of thing. They've got different kind of things to do with different currencies in their other games, like VC points or whatever they're called, and you have to buy them. So I assume it will be similar to that. What I will say is, I think EA is still going to be releasing their football game. They just can't call it FIFA anymore.
No,
so it's just going to be EA
25.
So technically, there'll be two of them.
Should be renamed Tequila. EA is a load of crap.
EA rinse and repeat 2024.
Yeah. And it's the same as F1 24. That's just copy and paste of.
That's all they do. They copy and paste 90%. 90% of the game's the same, and if you're lucky, you get 10% different. And now, they still charge you the full amount, of course.
Now, Pete and Tequila, we have the last thing now. This is just an update, news thing, what's coming up in the next few weeks in the gaming world. We've got Xbox Games Showcase 2024 on June the 9th, where we will see Fable 4, Gear 6. We might even see a skill song as well in sort of what's coming up. And then, of course, PlayStation have Play My Days. They're coming up as well with their own showcase. Both we'll be doing both here on the channel, getting the latest news from them. I think me and Tequila, or as well as Pete as well. Pete wants to do May Follow Showcase live and bring you all the latest news, what's coming up, guys. So, what do you want from Xbox Showcase, Pete? What's the one thing you want to come out of Xbox Showcase and Play My Days as well?
I'd love to see something about Witcher 4. We're probably not going to get it, but even if it's just like a cinematic, that I'm fine with that. I don't know, maybe some more info about the other Witcher games that are coming out, because there's like 2 or 3 other ones. I have no idea. I want to know who we're playing as in Witcher 4, and I'm really hoping that it's Ciri. So that's kind of it. I'm very picky when it comes to games. I like to take the piss a lot. and during our sort of live reactions, me and Nick just do tend to rip it just out of pretty much everything.
They make it too easy. It's too easy not to, don't
Yeah, the term "I'm so excited" just seems to come around all the time, and yeah, it's great.
I'm so excited for F124. Yippee!
Yeah, so excited to be here.
That's my excitement face. That's how excited. I mean, I'm genuinely excited about the game. You play it like, well, what? I've got F123. It's exactly the same. You, Tequila, what's the one thing you want?
Well, there is actually a game that I'm actually looking forward to that I think is coming out this year, which is called Hades 2, which is quite an independent game. So I'm happy they show that because I really love that. It's quite an old-style game. What are you laughing at? What are you laughing at, Pete?
The Carl's comment.
Funny that because Nick and I like to take the piss out of them. Well, thank you. You're very kind.
Yeah.
It's very true. Very true, Carl. He's telling the truth. That's it. No, honestly, there's one game called Hades 2 that I'm looking forward to. It's already out in early access, so technically it's already out, but it's not on Xbox yet, so that's when I'll get it. So that's literally the only game that I'm really looking forward to. That's this year.
Resident Evil 1 remake. Please announce Resident Evil 1 remake or 0.
There has been talk about that.
Resident Evil 5 is next.
About a remake of that. I have heard that. For me, please, for the love of God, give us a trailer for Reactivate, please. Let us know there is a new Transformer game coming out. Splash Damage, just get your finger out your backside and give us something. And Xbox, please put the original Transformer games on Game Pass.
I'll be up for that, yeah, definitely.
I'm going to keep moaning about this until the day.
I love killing Autobots, Dermo. I don't like killing Decepticons because I'm a bit freaky like that. I like killing Autobots.
I tell you what, in
particular,
I think it'd be a good idea. Is we should do a review of Witcher, why we're playing the Witcher game, on one podcast.
We just literally did a podcast of Witcher 3. So
24 hours ago, we just did a podcast on The Witcher.
But yeah, I'm going to do the same thing with F124. We're going to do some content coming out for that, guys. I'm going to do a career mode. Can Michael Schumacher win his 8th world title?
You should do Let's Plays, yeah. Good idea.
I'm doing it as him against Verstappen in the Red Bull. So that's what I'm going to do. Also, we're going to be Transformer content coming out as well, guys, from For the Cybertron and War of Cybertron at the moment, so there will be content coming out there. It's going to be FIFA content as well, EA's content for himself and Colin. I'm sure Nick and Pete will come out with some content as well on the channels because we are going to link up both gaming channels. So we are going to, wherever we're streaming on there, and they'll do vice versa. So I'm sure we can do some battles.
Well, let's say that me and Nick will do a reaction to the Summer Games Fest this weekend, and then we can both team up for the Xbox Microsoft one next week.
The Xbox one I'd be really interested in doing, actually. I can't wait for that on June the 9th. So it's going to be, that'd be a good one. Can we show some of the footage on the channel, or do we have to do it without the footage?
We always just show the video, don't we?
Yeah, we have the live stream coming through.
We're becoming a rebel channel. We're becoming rebels.
Yeah, fuck it. I mean, like, no one makes money off adverts on YouTube anymore. So just we have to rely on Patreon, which I'm in the middle of setting up. So
yeah, we are. Once we get up to I think 30 subscribers on here, guys, we're going to set up our own Patreon as well. But Pete, do you want to give the Play Pouch a massive plug? It's a great channel. I love watching it, by the way. I actually do
thanks.
Content you guys put out. I would recommend it. Some nights I can't sleep, and I put you guys on, and you just keep me riveted.
We try to make it funny. We're trying to sort of we're trying to be different than the other podcasts, and of course you kind of have to be. But I'm trying to sort of get hold of video clips and work that into OBS. I'm still in the middle of doing it, so that we can sort of cut away to something and then jump back. So yeah, I mean, like, it's a fresh podcast, and we're still working things out with the OBS Live stuff, and Nick keeps dropping out, bless him.
Yeah.
So we're trying to find a medium without having to pay any service, like Zoom Premium or whatever like that. So like if we can get Discord working, then we'll stick with it. But anyway, it's a great show. So please come and join us if you want to laugh.
Yeah, everyone, please do get over there. It's a great channel, made by two really nice people as well. Really enjoyed doing this podcast with Pete. And
thank you.
Tequila's also over on our other channel, our part of the THFC brand, THFC
for the Spurs.
We're live tonight at 7 for a bit of transfer talk, episode 1. So you me on there tonight, talk a few bits Tequila.
Yep.
And that's about it, guys. So just a few more comments. Side Dancer THC83 was all right about FIFA Dermo. You were spot on, sir.
What did he say, Dermo?
I was saying about. I'll talk to you later about that.
Okay.
I'm not going to read out Carl's comment because that's just. I'm not going to just read it
out. I read that.
I let you
guys just being rude again, man. So rude.
Yeah, I know. I let you two just chuckle in the background on that. And Carl, if you are on Xbox tonight, I'm running you off the road. I am sorry. I'm doing an air and center. You're going to be pros. I'm just going to run you off the road at the first corner. Watch out for me. And Side Dancer, I want someone to bring out an updated dart game. That's a very good point, actually. Especially with all the darts getting so big at the moment, guys. I would thought they would have done that. And Carl says, that would be brilliant. Well, that was Double Done Gaming podcast, the gaming podcast, episode 3 with myself, Pete, and Tequila. Thank you all for watching. Please do hit the like button. Please do hit the subscription button as well. More gaming podcasts and more gaming stuff coming up on the channel, so keep your eyes peeled for the best gaming channel around. Well, okay, the second best. Can't say we're the best.
He's lovely, isn't he?
I might get sued by the people that I'm doing the podcast with, so I have to be very nice to them.
I'll be fine.
On that bombshell, thank you all for watching. We'll be back next week. Thank you very much. And keep on gaming because it is fun.
It is.